How you doing?
How you doing, old dog? I can sit down a minute. You don't mind, do you? Got the cold water? Been hot over there today. Hey, that's good water.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice and cold. Okay, let me get over here, Tank. Just getting old ain't no fun. Hello, folks. This is Leroy here to answer your questions. Today we are going to work on looking at the features of a lobster boat, how it's built, the equipment they use, and how it functions.
You want to just go find a lobster boat?
Let's go see a boat. Whose boat we got down there? Barbara Ann? Let's go. Don't fall overboard. This kind of rickety gear here, ain't it? That's Mingalaba. Come here, John. Get in here. You just get that leg up there. Don't be looking now. Come on, get aboard here. Yeah. Okay. We're aboard a traditional Maine lobster boat. This is a wooden boat built by Peter Cass, I believe. That's the name of the builder. And I'd say it's around 42, 45 feet long. You can see the deck space that we have. And this would be where the traps are stored as they're moving them in and out of where they fish. As we walk up the deck, we can see a lobster box here. This is controlled by a pump that pumps in seawater from the ocean as they're fishing. And as the boys catch the lobsters, they put them in this pan here, and then they keep bands over in here and a measure, and they band them and drop them down in these holes, and the lobsters are in the water all day long, so that keeps them alive. And over here they have an additional box if this box gets full, which oftentimes it does. And you can see the lines on here that go overboard. The water has to circulate all day long. This here is where they put the bait. As you can see, they get togies in here. That's what they use for bait. This is their spear, or bait needle, it's called. And they spear these on like this. Put them on here. They put a line in the trap up through this hole and just push them down, and they can win the trap. Okay? And then they lock the trap up, and she's baited. They put her back overboard. This little box you see here is hooked to the hot water on the engine. You can see the coil. That heats this water in this box. And this water in this box in cold weather is so the fishermen can stick their hands in there and warm their hands or their feet. And it's also a place where they take their lobster pot buoys and they dip them in, and they have a scrub brush and they scrub them to get the algae off them so that they stay clean so that they can see them. This here is called the winterback. In the wintertime, they slide this door shut, and this panel over my head drops down. When it's 15, 18 above zero, they steam offshore for an hour or two, and they have a heater in here that heats this cabin up. Of course, this is your steering station, and this is your throttle. This here is your transmission, fore and aft. They're separate, of course, because sometimes you don't want this engaged if you're pulling traps, so you just pull it back into neutral. And if you want a little more speed on your trap, you just give her a little throttle and she'll speed her up a little bit. She'll come a little faster. So we call this a right-handed boat because the cabin is open on the right-hand side. The captain most generally runs the boat looking this way, and when he's working the traps, he's standing 90 degrees to what he was looking for, out too. This here is called the davy. This swings out when they're fishing so that the traps don't come up and hit underneath the boat. That keeps the trap out here so that they can get it and pull it in. They most generally bring this in when they're coming in on leaving the dock so it doesn't catch on other boats and all of that. This is called the shear. This is lower. So when the trap comes up in this block here, the operator has to grab the trap and bring it aboard. And this is lower to help do that. This is the control for this pothole. Okay, this is a hydraulic sheave, and if you get right up here close and look down in there, you will see that it's tapered. So when they put the rope in there, the rope goes down in there and this here pinches it and pulls on it. This thing turns inboard. This little gizmo here catches the rope and it drops to the deck. Okay, so that it just doesn't fly all over everything. This circular thing you see here on the windshield is called the clear view. It defrosts the windshield so they can see. Then we have a VHF up here, ship to shore radio, that's connected to the Coast Guard, and they most generally carry 2 ship to shore radios. They got one there and another one over there, and if they get in trouble, they can get on there and call. We have a bottom machine that reads the bottom. We have a radar up here that tells you in the fog or at night where everybody else in the ocean is. This one here is a GPS, and they set their traps with the GPS so that they can go back right to them and find them. Probably one of the most important instruments aboard the boat is the nautical compass. And if everything else fails in these electronics, that'll bring you home. So that's very important. Very important. See what he's got down below here. Down here he's got the makings of the cabin. They keep spare lines, they keep spare oil, they keep a wrench set, they keep a drill, they keep spare gloves. And this part of the vessel down here is dry. This is called the bulkhead. This part here, this is the strength of the vessel amidships. This is the strength of the house. Okay? These ribs you see overhead, these posts that you see, is all part goes down to the hull. It's fastened to the hull. And they use pretty heavy duty stuff to hook this thing together. The windows are mostly safety glass. The sea will come up and smash into those windows, so they take a pretty good beating at times. And what we're standing on here is the engine box. This is how high the top of the engine comes up. They have to give it air, of course. And the engine is right under my feet. And it's probably 500 or 600 horsepower to drive a boat this size. And I'm sure it'll go, if you open the throttle up, I'm sure it would go 15, 18, 20 knots. And as you look out the window and you see the bow just ahead of the windshield is almost as wide as the stern. That makes it balanced. That balances the boat. This is a boat that has good lines. It's a pretty boat, you might say. It's a real pretty boat. It's designed well, it's built well, and the fellow that builds this prides himself on this model boat. This is one of the most popular models around. So I hope that gives you a good understanding of the Lobster boat. And again, it's been years in the making of getting it right. And when you get it right and it's comfortable, you just keep building the same model over and over. There's a lot to this, and it's not easy to tell you everything in a 10-minute interview. If there's something you don't understand, please call and I will go through it again to give you a better understanding of something I might have missed. Please call in 224-58-Leroy and we will answer your questions. No dumb questions. Just keep asking. Appreciate it. Thank you. It would be fun to get out when they're hauling traps. maybe some point we can do that. We'll get the guys to do that. You know, just to see how all the equipment works, how the boat is handled, all of that, you know. And that's important. That ought to make a good video.